Did Discord crash on me?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, there we go.
We are
Definitely
live.
stream your screen to me so I can see it in real time.
I will here in a second because, huh. That's weird.
What?
There we go. Never mind. There
You just,
was.
oh yeah, notification takes a little bit to pop up.
No, there was like a screen issue with the game where it was stretching over to a different side.
I need to turn down this.
I need to turn the volume way down. That is so
There we
much
go.
better.
Okay, I'm gonna pull up our chat so I can at least see that real quick, and
Yep.
then I need to go pee.
Alright.
But you might want to try the tutorial by yourself because I think you can easily do
So
that by yourself.
just start game?
But yes, but I'm gonna go pee first. But if you want to wait for me, you can. But I think you can just do the tutorial by yourself.
Alright, then I'll just start a new game.
Be right back.
Give me a sec because I have to actually put it on the right screen. Hi, Turbo. Thank you for redeeming first, honey. I have to quickly find where my screen capture is because it's not capturing the game. There we go. That's the wrong thing because that's a different game. There we go. There we go.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back. I have not started because I was figuring out why it wasn't capturing the screen.
Yes, I was watching stream, but we got it now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm very excited. I think you're gonna love this game.
December 6th, 1998.
The plane that crashed last night just outside of Pittsburgh is now known to have been the private jet of the Roottrees Corporation. Local aviation authorities have speculated, based on the pilot's final communication, that the winter storm and heavy winds played a significant role in the crash. On board were multiple family members, including corporate president Carl Roottrees and his daughters, the Roottrees sisters, best known for their fashion lines and modeling careers. There were no survivors. Again, for those of you just joining us, the Roottrees are dead.
I know it's late, but I'm guessing you've seen the news. In addition to dealing with the grief, the Roottrees Company's lawyers are scrambling. Everything's about to change. Anyone proven to be a blood relative is about to get much richer. I'm here to ensure everyone is accounted for. I've heard you're an expert at sorting out complicated family trees. A genealogy genie, as it were.
Skill
I'm going to
issue.
give you a quick test. Pass, and I can promise you the job of a lifetime.
The Roottrees sisters are in birth order.
Yeah. Sleuth.
Alright. This was taken during the shoot for the Roottrees sisters' Got Milk ad. I've tracked down a test photo from before they painted the fake mustaches on, which I thought would be more appropriate considering the circumstances. The ad's copy reads, "You might recognize our faces from the magazine you're reading, or you might recognize our name from the candy bar you're eating. Being a Roottree is a full-time job, but so is growing up. That's why the calcium found in milk is so important. Plus, you can't make chocolate without it." This list was provided to you by a mysterious person who showed up at your door. You'll need it to fill in the family tree. Well, we know they are Roottrees, but there's a lot
I'll
of
just say,
those.
you'll be using every single person on this list.
Yes, that will help me eventually. Welcome.txt. Thank you for purchasing a new Cashew PC. Your PC is equipped with a 56K modem, which is fast enough to access any site on the World Wide Web, even those with high-resolution images. If you find anything interesting, be sure to print it out with your included high-end color laser printer or burn a music CD to listen to later. If you want to revisit a search result, be sure to use Netscape Explorer's new history feature. Happy surfing, and remember, Cashew PCs are delicious. Cashew PCs are inedible. Do not try to eat your computer.
Dang, those lawsuits.
We're gonna do...
Yep, AOL
Dial-up,
dial-up noises.
yep. You can create notes quickly by highlighting text with your mouse.
So I saw one girl that I was watching play this game use this feature very well, and I want to show you because I think it'll be helpful. But yeah, feel free to just start looking stuff up on the internet that you think that will help you.
Well, here's the thing. I shouldn't be able to just do it with the notes I have. There's no way to be able to do that.
Which is why you have the internet.
Yes. However, we are looking for 2 with their maiden name still, and 1 who is married.
So in this family tree, you will always use the maiden name when you put in people in.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting. The problem is I don't even know what I should be looking up.
I will say, click on their faces. This is how you will acquire their pictures.
Alright. And I do know that she has to be the eldest because she is the one who is married. Because of the ring on her finger. That is what I know about them so far. I do not know about the other 2. Hey, Toaster.
Hi, Toaster.
Turbo, you cannot help at all.
Well, Turbo says that he's never seen the game before. I think you should be allowed to put ideas in chat since you have no idea how to play this game. Or you've never seen the game before. But it's up to Nova. She's the one playing.
I would prefer no hints unless they're coming from Emily and unless directly asked for.
Okay.
Nothing relevant.
So this is the early 90s. You need to be... You can't put in something too specific.
Gotcha. That's too vague, I guess. Search for only one at a time, one person or concept.
You do have a list of people you can start with.
I do. You are correct.
If you want, you can what you can do is you can highlight names and you can add them easily to your notebook that way. So if you want to search a name, like let's say you want to search...
Well, if I look at the list of names again...
So let's say you want to start with people who have the last name Roottrees. You can highlight one of those names and then right-click on it. And you can click spider search. You can even highlight it to add it to your notebook.
Carl Roottree. There we go. The Roottree sisters. Reyna. Eldest Roottree. His sister. And I probably want to make sure that that is in quotations, just because.
And also, just a reminder, the main things you were looking for here. Now, spouses are optional, but they're good for filling in because then you can eliminate names on the list.
Yep.
So if you want to fill those in and like try to find out who spouses are, that's a good idea too. But you were looking for names, occupations, and pictures.
Yeah.
Eliminate the Roottree. These three are already dead. We're good on those ones, Turbo.
Yeah. The problem is... Well, I mean, I guess I can do this.
Keep reading.
Save note.
Yeah, keep reading.
Well, actually, first, I can go back to my board here. Because this is Reyna. That is Reyna Roottree. We know that the second eldest is the middle child. If I go back here, that is Rose, and Riley is the youngest. Where is Rose?
Not there.
Why is she not on here?
Well, you might have to find out more information about her.
Well, we do know that this one is Riley, though.
And do you know their occupations?
Well, we'll say married to TMS. Their mom, Brenda, is a fashion designer.
Remember, read the next sentence after that.
They are models.
There you go.
All right.
Are you sure you got all the information off of this page?
Other than she's married to somebody named TMS.
Did you read the whole article?
Roottrees candy. Riley does in most of the posters. Plaid root clothes. And Rose has her ears pierced. Okay. That does help, because now I know who's who. Which means that one's Riley, and this one is Rose. I still don't know her actual name, though. So...
And I would recommend, because once you lock in 3 people, it just kind of moves on, so you might want to find a spouse first before you find Rose.
Okay. All I
would
know
recommend doing
is
that.
the person's initials, which are TMS. Tommy Sheridan. Sheridan Thomas. If I go back here. Rose Roottrees. Someone isn't in the list of names that your employer provided, doing a deeper dive on what you learn about them will often lead to additional discoveries.
Oh, I do want to mention that the brand Root has a period with it. So if you search it, you want to include the period.
Gotcha. That was what I was getting ready to search for next. Root, the period is part of the name, is a clothing company. They make clothes for children, from toddlers to teenagers. Although their website is down, likely due to increased web traffic. You find countless retail sites attempting to advertise their clothes towards the target audience. One of them has this to say: "You've spied the Roottrees sisters looking hella fly on catalogs, magazines, and posters. Now you too can be like Riley, Rose, or Raina." You also come across a website from a collector of clothing catalogs. Apparently, Root has released 2 catalogs per year every year since 1984, and Raina appeared on almost all of them. There is only one that the webmaster considers a collector's item enough to mention. It seems that Brenda Roottree, the Roottree sisters' mother, and Root's head designer appeared on one cover holding her daughter Rose in 1985. The site says this was the only time her daughter was ever listed with her birth name, Carly Roottree. Which means her name is Carly. Carly Roottree.
I think Turbo likes to put a smiley face in chat every time he has something to say, but is not going to say it.
Probably. These 3
What if
entries
we put
are
the wrong
correct.
name in? Nothing would happen if you put in the wrong name.
It only says... It will only move on if I've got everything correct, it looks like.
Yep. You can lock in 3 entries basically every time you put 3 entries incorrect.
Perfect. Booyah!
Sorry to test you, but I had to be sure you could use the internet. Some folks refuse to get with the times. Safe to say, you're hired. The reward for untangling the family tree is substantial. Life-changing, even. But here's the catch. The Roottrees go way, way back. The family tree's a bit daunting. Most people freak out the first time they see the whole thing. But I'm sure you'll be fine. The man who started it was particular about whom he considered family. For your purposes, you only need his direct blood relatives. Anyone related only by marriage is optional, but filling them in can lead to useful discoveries. Lastly, you now have access to some unique websites, plus a list of notable Roottrees. Notable people are easy to find via your search engine, and marked with stars on the family tree.
Okay.
I'm off for now. Carl Roottree had a lot in his office. I'll look for anything useful. I'll return once you identify 6 more blood relatives. Sorry, one last thing. This might sound odd, but if anyone else claiming to represent the Roottrees reaches out, I'd appreciate you not mentioning I was here. Thank you, and good luck.
Alright.
Here's the full family tree.
There are 50 people who go on this board.
Yes. Sleuth.
Alright. It's easiest to work our way from the Roottree sisters out.
Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. You'll eventually find out. But I would take note of who has the stars on your trees.
So, I'm trying to remember their father's name, which sucks. That I don't remember it off the top of my head. Notable Roottrees. Carl Roottree. That's what his name was. Carl Roottree, Elias and Gwyneth Roottree, Gwen Roottree, Red Roottree, Jim Roottree, Lauren Roottree, and Miracle Jr.
So you can brute force this, but You have to get their picture right, the occupation right, and their name right. So you're gonna have to brute force all 3 of those for every single person if you brute force this game.
Easy to find online. There is at least 35 pieces of evidence related to these notable people.
Yep. It will tell you if you have someone completely correct after you have 3 completely correct people in. So they'll lock in if you have 3 people completely correct. So if you have someone you think is correct and you lock in 3 people and it's not that person, you have something wrong about them.
Okay. So, let's probably start with Carl Roottrees. Well, I should probably look at the other pieces of evidence I have, too.
Okay.
The Roottrees sisters and their parents died in a plane crash on December 6th, 1998. The next evening, a shadowy figure appeared at your door and said the lawyers were looking to sort out the family tree. After a quick test, the figure gave you access to some resources. This included a list of notable Roottrees, who said they would be the easiest family members to place. They said they would return in the time it took to fill out 6 more blood relatives. Roottree 5 pieces. This is an advertisement for 5 pieces aimed at kids from the magazine Teen Blast. It mentions that the 5 pieces were named as such because the original creator had 5 children. The ad also mentions that the current 5 flavors are not the same as back then.
New radical flavors.
Radical new flavors because it's no longer the 1920s. Maybe that's why kids still love them. What even is an elderberry, anyway? Anyway. Carl Roottrees.
We will eventually learn who the person at the door is.
Carl Roottrees died in the recent plane crash along with his wife, Brenda Roottrees, and their daughters, the Roottrees sisters. He was the president of the Roottrees Candy Company, as well as the clothing company Root, which he co-founded with his wife. So, first of all, we know that this is Carl Roottrees. We know that this is Brenda Roottrees, or rather, Brenda White.
Yep.
And his occupation would be CEO.
Okay.
I mean... Or maybe president, if that's more relevant. Oh god! Why? Wait, no. This is obvious then. He has to be the 5th president. He has to be the most recent president.
You want me to tell you yes? No? I mean,
Yeah.
I think the fun in this game is getting stuff locked in when you have to figure out stuff, so.
Okay. The other thing I need is a picture of him.
I wouldn't worry about getting a picture of him right now. I'll just say that.
Okay. Anyway, I should keep reading. There is a short press release that the Roottrees Candy Company released today to news organizations, December 6, 1998. It is with a heavy heart that we mourn the loss of Carl, Brenda, the Roottrees sisters, and the other employees that perished in the terrible tragedy. The entire Roottrees family is in shock and requesting privacy at this time. As the head of our company, Carl was an incredible man and an unmatched leader. Filling his absence will be difficult and may take considerable time. In the interim, we hope that you join us in looking back fondly on Carl and his family's triumphs and accomplishments. They go on to list some of those accomplishments. One of them seems relevant to your search. Like his great-grandfather before him, Carl earned the highly prestigious Watchman of the Year title.
You need to know a periodical to search first for periodicals.
Yeah. Anyway, Watchman of the Year I could probably look up, though. New periodical Business Watch. Elias Roottree is the great-grandfather of Carl Roottree. Which means, if we go up to the board, Elias Roottree would be his great-grandfather.
Yes.
His father, his father's father, the great-grandfather, Elias.
You can also type, too.
Yeah. Roottree Elias. We know this is Gwyneth. Anderson Gwyneth. Now, that means Elias's occupation was president first. There are 5 children of the original founder of Elias. We don't know which one of the children is the second president. Nor do we know which one is the third president or the fourth. We only know the first and fifth. At least currently. Anyway, I can search periodicals, though.
You can, yes.
Business Watch. Although, that's all it'll tell me. I've already known that.
But you can search other things in Business Watch.
I don't know what else I would search for.
I'm gonna give you a hint in this game. Searching names is a very common thing you'll probably have to do.
Yeah.
So there's a good chance if you search names.
Elias Roottree. I have a picture of Elias and Gwyneth.
Don't forget to click on their faces.
So if I go back, Elias Roottree was the founder and first president of the Roottrees Candy Company. You find what is essentially a propaganda site about him created by the Roottrees Candy Company. At the top, there's a picture of him and his wife, Gwyneth. That picture has been added to your evidence. There is also a biography section that has some additional information. Elias is credited for inventing 5 Pieces, a popular maple candy. Before that, the farm he inherited by marrying his wife only produced syrup. After 5 Pieces became wildly successful, Elias spent his time and energy on cementing his reputation as a family man. He is quoted on the site as saying, "Blood is thicker than syrup," and that any child linked by blood to me shall be linked by blood to my legacy. The site enthusiastically claims that he made good on that promise, but offers no additional detail. There are a few more quotes about Elias from a book called Family Man, The Roottrees Legacy, by Bess Williams. So I could...
Yes, you do have access to the public library. You can search a book.
Yeah.
You can highlight that and it will put it in your notebook. And you can go to public library.
Where?
On the computer.
Oh, on the computer. Oh!
Under spider search.
There we go.
Using this is a good way to copy and paste things into other places.
How do I paste something, though?
Is it not letting you
Right-click?
Control P or something?
Or Control P.
I mean, yeah, right-click too.
No. It doesn't let me right-click.
Weird. New system coming in fall of '99.
Author and book title are required. Interesting. Bess Williams. There we go. No downloadable version available because the book is impossible to find these days. So I found no information with this. That's a dead end. To say they are biased is a massive understatement. Below that, there is a long list of accomplishments and awards, and one stands out. Like his great-grandson, Carl, Elias was voted Watchman of the Year. Let's look up Gwyneth. The first Anderson Maple Farm. There are a few pictures, including a famous picture of Elias and Gwyneth. That photo was already added. Before marrying Elias, Gwyneth Roottree was Gwyneth Anderson. She had no brothers, so as the oldest sister, she was to inherit the Anderson Maple Farm so long as she married. So... okay, perfect. That gives me the answer. She's a housewife. That is her profession.
They kind of add e-books back then. but it wasn't very popular. It wasn't a very common thing, I should say.
Housewife. Before marrying Elias... Let's see, I already did that. Before Elias took over, the farm produced only syrup. It was supposedly Elias's idea to create candy instead. Their success was not immediate until they decided to combine the maple with other flavors. This led to 5 pieces, which are still found in stores to this day. Though the Roottrees Candy Company expanded well beyond their original farm, it has been preserved as a tourist attraction. According to their website, there are still daily demonstrations and educational tours that show off many of the turn-of-the-century appliances that Gwyneth would have used as a housewife in the early 1900s. So, let's look up 5 pieces now.
Okay.
From marketing materials and various candy history sites, you learn that 5 pieces are the iconic candy sold by the Roottrees Candy Company. Although they are no longer the company's only popular product, they still sell well to this day. 5 pieces are small, colorful, shell-coated maple candies that, since the late 20s, have been pressed into the shape of a maple leaf, although they usually have one flavor that looks more like a berry. As tastes have changed over the years, so have the 5 flavors, but the shape and combination with maple have remained consistent. There's also a history of print advertising website that claims to have a 5 pieces advertisement scanned from a book called The Sweet History of Candy Volume 2, by Charles Lee. There we go.
Highlighted stuff is already saved.
Cool. Because now I can go and I have a better thing I can look up. It sucks that I can't actually copy-paste very well.
I'm sure there's a way to do it.
Because this is going to be a pain to type. This is part of a book series about all things candy in the modern world. It starts in 1925 and continues onward to chronicle the rise of the mass production and global distribution. The book ends with a look into the future of candy as envisioned by experts in 1985. With the addition of hindsight, you can clearly see they got pretty much everything wrong. It includes some print advertisements. You find a newspaper ad for 5 pieces from the 1930s.
Okay, I do want to ask something because this is something I haven't seen in playthroughs. I've seen no one look up that book in playthroughs before or get this evidence. So I am curious.
Oh my gosh. That is
there's a volume
huge.
1.
Oh my god. That is so big that I now know the names, or at least their first initials of the children. Roottrees 5 pieces contain 5 different maple-infused flavors. The Roottrees are a proud family business, and our flavors are inspired by our children. G is for grape, E is for elderberry, CE is for cinnamon extract, M is for melon, and introducing M for miracle berry. Miracle berry is a burst of beautiful something. I can't read it because the symbols are in the way. But miracle berries are another name for elderberries. I actually... Never mind, there is elderberries. I'm stupid. I don't know what miracle berry is.
It's just beautiful blossoming blended berries.
There we go.
But anyways, is there a volume 1?
That is a good question.
like I said, I haven't seen anyone find this book in the playthroughs I watched on YouTube, so I am very curious if there's a volume 1. Just change it, yeah.
There is an extremely early newspaper ad for 5 pieces that Charles Lee included due to a major misprint.
Okay, that's what I thought you'd find. Okay. I thought that's where that evidence was. Okay.
There's a misprint here?
Look at the description.
Included it because of the spelling error on the word available. Available! From fine stockists throughout Pennsylvania. That is really goofy. Why does this matter?
I could tell you, but I guess my hint is to look at the flavors.
Oh, the flavors are different. There's only one that's different. Because it is egg cream. And melon instead of miracle berry.
No, melon was there before. The egg cream is the one
Egg
that's
cream.
different.
Interesting. The only other problem I have is that I don't know the ages of the children. Or their actual names.
You have their initials, though. That's nothing.
Aw, sad. Why is it
Yeah.
here?
It's just decor that you can look at.
Family Doku! Anyway.
I wonder if you can look up any of those books in the library. I've never seen anyone try that before.
You probably can.
But it looks like you don't have the authors' names.
Yes, you do. It is Alphabet Davis.
No, that's the name of the book.
No, the name of the book here is Secret Searcher.
No, look at the last one. Alphabet Davis in Erase Names of the... It's like a book series called Alphabet Davis.
Oh, okay. Well, actually, I do have a way to do that.
We're going down a rabbit hole, I guess, here.
The Alphabet Davis series of books is set in the 1950s and follows a young, dashing adventurer named Martin Davis III. Alphabet is a nickname that was given to him when he was young due to his interest in puzzles, riddles, and all sorts of other intellectual activities. Though he grew up a simple fisherman, he's in fact descended from pirates, and his books involve solving mysteries and finding treasure, often with a genealogical twist. All 4 are by Christoph Rogan. Secret Searcher was the first book in the series. It was quite popular, and the sequel, Reversus, was pushed out within a year to capitalize. Many fans think that it suffered in quality due to the accelerated timeline, but still appreciate it nonetheless. While the plot was extremely far-fetched and far more convoluted than in Alphabet's first outing, the writing style was the same and the characters were as fun as ever. After that, 2 more books were released. Their release dates were much further apart as Christoph Rogan also began to design and release a series of puzzle books relating to genealogy. Which is Family Doku, if I had to take a guess. Ends and Beginnings, a young Alphabet adventure, was both a prequel and sequel simultaneously, and left out some of the first two books' beloved characters, which was a controversial choice. Still, it sold well, and critics generally felt that the story was less of a soap opera than the previous entry. They also appreciated that it reframed elements of the second book in more subtle ways, retroactively making Reversus feel a bit more at home in the Alphabet Davis universe. Christoph Rogan announced that Ends and Beginnings was written as a conclusion and meant for it to be the last Alphabet Davis book. When the fourth was released in 1998, there were rumors that it was written specifically to bankroll an electronic version of his true passion, the puzzle books. Due to a tonal shift midway through, fans even speculated that it was actually two different partial book drafts that were hastily merged together. Regardless, it was quite over the top, and the plot seemed somehow both bloated and undercooked. It is unclear if there will ever be another Alphabet Davis book, as the most recent one was not a success. These books are not related to your investigation into the Roottrees in any way. You could revisit them for old time's sake, but as each volume is more complex than the last, it might be counterproductive considering you have a job to do. Damn it, they called me out.
This game's really funny. There's a lot of text in this game that's really funny.
Anyway.
Anyways, want to look up Alphabet Davis in the public library?
I could, but no thanks.
Because I know the author's name now.
I'm good.
Can you highlight things in the ads? Like, can you go to the words in the ads and like highlight things and add them to your notebook?
Give me a sec. Not this one. I want the older ones. No.
Nope. Okay. But you can write them down.
But
you
I
can
can
highlight
this.
You don't need to pull up your notebook. You just need to highlight it and then click the highlight button. It will automatically add it to your notebook.
Trust me, I know.
Okay.
I was looking for this. Where am I going to find a picture of Carl Roottree?
Don't worry about that. Hi, Dylan.
Hi.
I don't want you to worry about Carl Roottree right now, and I want you to look elsewhere.
Why?
Because you're not going to find a picture of him right now. You can't.
What do you mean I can't?
Okay. So you know how the mysterious person said they're going to go to his office and they'll look for more stuff to give you.
I don't remember her saying that.
Anyways, that's what she said. You will get the picture then, but do not worry about Carl. You're good for Carl. Move on.
Okay, fine. I'm gonna look up Jim Roottree instead.
Alright.
James Roottree is a singer who sings in the duo Jim and Diamond with his wife Diamond LaRue. The duo, according to many sources you find, is considered a one-hit wonder due to the disco song Rollin' On Down to the City. It's now in your evidence folder. Although Jim writes the majority of songs, plays the guitar, and often sings, Diamond is considered by fans to be the band's lead singer. The band never had another hit, but has its fans, who refer to themselves as Diamond Stazzlers. The rest of their music is more folksy and acoustic than the one song they were known for. Jim and Diamond have continued to release music through the 80s and early 90s. Other albums you find mentioned are Cherry Tree and Sound of Laughter. Jim has become a bit of a recluse, and he hasn't made a public appearance since 1996. Rolling on down to the City was barely a top 20 hit for a few weeks in 1979. According to the liner notes, it satirizes how a part of society was content to remain indifferent to economic inflation and civil unrest in the Middle East, unless pop culture tricked them into caring. Somewhat ironically, listeners didn't seem to pay attention to the lyrics enough to trick them into caring. Instead, most of its play came from roller discos. Because it was such a product of its time, it doesn't get much play anymore, even on stations that play oldies. Maybe that's why you'd never heard of it before now. This image is from an auction for a sealed copy. It has a sticker that says, "Only the great-grandson of Elias Roottrees could make disco this sweet." It is credited to Peter Janowicz from MMM.
So like I said, the way that I think it's a really good way to play this game is that anything that you might want to look up or you think is notable to look up, you highlight it and add it to your your notebook, and then you can pull out your notebook when you're in the spider search and then just search all these things you want to search back.
Well, this is the great-grandson of Elias Roottrees. Jim...
Or, of course, highlight anything that's just notable.
Yeah, Jim is the great-grandson of. The only problem is, I don't know where... Well, he'd have to be on the same row as Carl, which makes him a direct cousin. The only one on this row that is notable. That means this is Jim. Or James. Ah! James Roottrees. Diamond LaRue.
You have to lock her in first to add extra pictures.
Gotcha.
What were you looking for?
Singer. Musician is probably what I'm thinking. There we go. Locked in.
Hey! Housewife!
The following optional entries. Why are there multiple pictures?
Because you can find another picture of her.
Ah! And I could find 2 more pictures of James Roottrees.
Correct.
Well, that would
you might be able to find a picture of Carl right now. I just haven't seen anyone find it yet. And I don't know how to find it. So you could keep digging for Carl, but it's going to be easier to find his picture later on.
I guess so. Anyway, the next row up has 3 notables. And the notables that we have still are Red Roottrees, Gwen Roottrees, Lauren Roottrees, Miracle Jr.
Look up Carl Pitts. Probably won't work, but worth the chance to prove Emily wrong.
I don't think it's worth trying.
Carl Pitts in the spider search.
Carl Roottrees. Picture. Yep, that's what I thought. That's way too specific for them.
Yep. But yeah, a lot of people just like go in, like highlight things in the evidence and then highlight it in their notes and then click the spider search button.
Miracle Jr. doesn't go by his full name in promotional materials. Instead, he has shortened it to Miracle Jr. Miracle Jr. is a televangelist who is part of the Miracle Network. He used to have a show that aired on local access across many stations in the northeastern United States. Okay, that's why that's relevant.
I would also recommend anytime you find something out about a person that's relevant to their career or their name or anything like that, their wife, their family, I recommend highlighting it and putting it in your notes. And then that's why you can also easily like let's say you want to look at Miracle Network. You can highlight that and add it to your notes. And then you can click on that later and spider search it. Or highlight it from your notebook and spider search it. That way you can go through the whole article and then go back and spider search things.
Clergy Watch. I don't
Miracle
need that.
Jr. goes by Miracle Jr. Wow.
Who would have guessed? According to a website called Clergy Watch, he was exposed and subsequently charged with conspiracy to defraud the public in 1979 when he claimed to heal someone in a wheelchair. A news expose revealed it was his wife Edith's sister in a disguise. The author also mentions that Edith had a bit of a checkered past. So Edith is his wife.
Do you want to highlight that and put it in your notebook?
Here's the
So
problem.
you can remember.
How does it... Okay, it's under Miracle Jr. It'll still be there.
Yeah, it tells you which spider search you found it underneath. All I'm saying is that if you don't know where someone is on the list, it's good to what's the word? To at least like highlight these things so you don't have to go back and search for it. Or forget where you found it.
Right. Anyway.
And then you can just click the spider search button. It makes it easy.
Miracle Network production company run by the Miracle Roottrees estate. It's quite bare bones, but it has the following blurb. Miracle Roottrees arrived so late in his mother's life that the doctor swore he wouldn't survive his first year. His mother and father, Elias and Gwyneth, named him Miracle because they thought him impossible. He was younger than his brothers and sisters by over 14 years. That means Miracle is the last child born from the original 5.
You can click the up button. Yeah.
That means this one has to be the original Miracle. Roottrees Miracle. That means this is Miracle Jr. Which means, I guess, this is Miracle the Third.
Oh, Miracle was absolutely not an accident, and you'll find that out at the end of the game.
Interesting. Preacher. There we go.
You not want to read the rest of that?
I just wanted to take care of some things real quick.
Okay. Well, you were about to click the X button. I'm like,
Miracle Roottrees arrived so late, blah blah blah. With the birth that late, the final child of his generation was nearly torn apart by countless health problems. But still, with the power of God on his side, he persevered. He triumphed over these complications and even regained his sight to spread the healing word of the Almighty. Which means that the original Miracle was also a preacher. "23 years later, Michael Roottrees Jr. arrived and became the famous family's second vessel for the higher power."
It says Miracle again. You read Michael.
Miracle. Michael. There is not a Michael Roottrees. Which means that the original Miracle Roottrees was also a preacher. I'm also going to go here real quick. That's Miracle the Third, his wife Nicole. Highlight. Alright, back to the board here. Edith Jacobson. There are two Nicoles. That's a problem. There we go. Who is a youth pastor. Does that mean he is also a preacher?
I would just click the one that's closest to it. So yes, I would put preacher. Which you passed.
There we go. I know his spouse's name is Nicole, but I don't know her maiden name. Oh boy.
You could just put in one as a guess and see if it's correct when you lock in people. And if it's wrong, you know it's the other Nicole.
I guess that is true. I don't think that's right, but we'll see.
We'll see.
Let's find out more about the original Miracle Roottrees here in a sec. Took his father's testimony, our Lord coming to a town near you. Miracle Roottrees. Arrived. Wait.
You're reading the same thing, by the way.
I am. It's the exact same information.
You know the wife's full name, you could search that.
I do?
Look on your family tree.
Right, Edith Jacobson. Well, that's... yeah.
Oh yeah, if you search periodicals on Spider Search, it automatically adds them to your periodical. So if you want to search Butler County Times, it will automatically add it to the periodicals for you as an option.
If it'll let me. The Roottrees Candy Company now has its headquarters in the city. The company began on a small farm. Butler County Times is presumably a local paper there. There are likely articles from over the years involving the Roottrees family. Side note, a video game called The Roottrees Are Dead was once set in Butler County, and it turns out the creator never lived in or near Butler County, or even had any connection to Butler County. That's funny.
Fourth wall break. If it's wrong, I'm forcing you to drink water, says Turbo. Did you redeem drink water? I don't see it anywhere.
Not yet. Or, actually... Edith Jacobson, Butler County Times. There's a Crime Blotter article about Edith Jacobson that also mentions a Helen Roottree and a Lucinda Jacobson. In 1971, when she was 18, Edith and her sister Lucinda were arrested for trespassing at the Miracle Congregation's church in Butler County. They were pretending to be church employees in an attempt to get into the room where the church houses their weekly tithings. The church did not press charges. They were caught by Helen Roottree, who was there at the time while her husband Miracle was away preaching. Helen Roottree. It's quoted as saying, "Jesus forgives, and so do we. The Lord works in mysterious ways, and I am confident he has brought these young women to us for a greater purpose." And I guess she was right.
Oh, Toaster's playing Silk Song. Have fun Silk Songing, Toaster.
Here's the problem. I still don't have a picture of the original Miracle Roottree, and I probably won't for a long time.
You can actually find it. You have access to it. I'll say right now. You do.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
I'll just say the road you're going down right now is not how you're going to find it. But there is a second photo of him that, I don't know, you might be able to find it this way, but...
No idea. I'm probably going to find a picture of him as a child and one of him as an adult. Now, they also have another child
They do, yes.
that I know nothing about.
I'll just say, keep looking at notable root trees and you will find out more information about everyone.
Okay. So, the remaining two, we have red root tree. Aloysius herring root tree, aka red herring, ha ha, so funny, was an appointed judge and politician who earned his nickname ironically because he was the ambassador to Ireland for only about 6 days. He served what some people contend is the shortest term in history. A few days after he was appointed... A few days after he was appointed...
Did you scream because it completely cut it out?
I didn't scream at all. He was heard disparaging his position and the Irish people. He then tried to run for state senate. He claimed to be...
our VTuber things are...
Yeah.
Did you change them?
Nope. I don't know why it's doing it this way, but hey.
It flipped mine.
Weird.
Hyson, thank you for that.
That's just gonna take me to exactly where I was.
Go look at the notable root trees list again.
Why?
In your evidence, yeah. Look at the stars. Like on the
family tree.
Names crossed out. No. Look at the evidence. Look at the names crossed out.
A red herring. Literally a red herring. Not one of the actual members of the Roottrees. That is funny. Oh!
You're able to sleep longer tonight. Good. So you have two names you don't really know anything about. You have Gwen and Lauren.
Yep. Here's the good news. Gwen and Lauren have to be these two. Let's see. Let's find out more about Gwen.
All right.
Not to be confused with Gwyneth.
There's also a Gwendoline and another Gwen.
Oh my
Games
god!
get really weird in this family.
Before I actually read, there is a picture of Gwen. Widely circulated photo of Gwen Roottrie. You have seen it on multiple websites about old films. She's an actor.
To answer Turbo's question, are the X's X's? Yes, the X's indicate a divorce.
Anyway, back to what I was reading. Gwen Roottrie is a somewhat well-known actress who was active in the 1950s. She often appeared in tabloids, especially around the time of her highly publicized divorce. Well, that helps. That means this one is Gwen.
There's no actress.
Actor.
It's all gender neutral ones. Yeah.
Done.
Ooh, yeah.
You're on a roll. I'll try to keep that momentum going. Carl's office was a mess, thanks to some burst pipes. But I unearthed a photo from a 1970s Roottrees reunion. I also found some important-looking papers. You've traced 9 blood relatives so far. I'll have more to share after you find 9 more.
Alright. I have to find 9 more. Gwyn was the granddaughter of Elias Roottree. She shouldn't have been named Roottree, but her father took her mother's famous last name. This was buried under a ton of other mail that Carl left in his inbox. It had a handwritten note attached that seemed personal. It is a flyer about a candidate for local office, Stephanie Jones. On the back is an excerpt from a newspaper article from the Butler County Times about her campaign. Stephanie may have grown up in an unconventional family, to say the least, but in her words, it was still full of love. And now, 22 years later, with a baby of her own due around Christmas, her message for voters is simply, love is our future. The handwritten note says, Carl, I know we don't see eye to eye when it comes to the candy company, but if you could talk to your girls about putting out a statement supporting Stephanie, she could use the publicity your daughters bring. Don't let our conflict spread to the next generation. CM. Well, if I go to the computer and go to periodicals, Stephanie Jones. Most recent mentioning of Stephanie Jones is a small report detailing the election results from last month's election. Stephanie apparently won her election. You also find the full version of the newspaper clipping on the back of the campaign mailer. While most of it is unimportant, you do find the following. Stephanie Jones, born Stephanie Landon, until her marriage to local business owner Brian Jones, has lived in Butler County her whole life. Stephanie grew up in a home without a father. So, Stephanie Jones married to Brian Jones. Grew up in a home without a father. With my mother and her partner, I essentially had an entirely female influence. Ah! Yay!
You found the lesbians.
Though she is a distant cousin of the Roottrees, her mother Caroline, a local artist who has appeared on the front page of the Butler County Times in the past, has often come out opposed to the corporation's policies regarding deforestation of indigenous trees to expand their maple farms. Unlike my mother, I'm not a fighter. I want to bring love to the world. Interesting.
Sin is very excited and spelled lesbians wrong in chat.
No,
Lesbiab.
Yeah, that's a very common meme.
I'm surprised you're not putting lesbians and all chat in your notebook.
There are a lot of root trees here. A lot of pictures.
And you know their names too.
This photo has a note attached from your employer. Every 20 or so years, the Roottrees would hold a big reunion and recreate an old family photo. This is the one from the 70s, and Carl's the teenager in the middle. Sorry about the water damage, a pipe burst in Carl's office. On the back of the photo, in childish print writing, it says, November. Carl is the teenager in the middle. We have a picture of Carl. Not a current one, but we do have one. There are also, on the back it says November. There are also a large number of cursive signatures. They include Bonnie, next president Guy Hudson, Ernie Jr., Caroline, Gwyneth M., Gwendolyn, Miracle Jr., Jim Roottree, Clark, Carl, and Eli M. We have a picture of Carl.
So how many do you think you have right now? Just Carl? Do we fully finish Carl? Who else do we got?
So I would have 10 completed so far.
We do have their names and pictures, but we don't know who is who yet. Like, we haven't matched it up.
Right.
Someone got divorced a couple times.
Yes, several times. And there's a guardianship over here. Anyway, we have that. This photo has a note attached from your employer. Here's a bonus. When I pulled the water damaged picture of the free spirits out of the frame, this fell out too. Written on the back of the photo is, couldn't make the reunion and wishing you well from Paris, Gwyn and the boys.
You might want to take a closer look at some of these pictures because some people are wearing name tags.
That's Eli. So there's only one that has a name tag on.
Yeah, but that other name tag you just looked at in the Paris photo also tells you.
That wasn't a name tag, though.
You're right, it wasn't a name tag, but it did tell you something, right?
Film school. That doesn't tell me much other than that one of her sons is an actor. One of Gwyn's sons is an actor. At least. And I don't know which son it is because one of them got married and the other one didn't. And neither of them is wearing a ring. Nor would we be able to tell because one has their left hand hidden and the other has their hands in their pockets.
Also, feel free to add extra pictures of people.
This photo is tucked inside an envelope with a letter beneath a candle in the corner of his office. The letter says, "To Carl and Brenda, I'm sorry that you were unable to attend the funeral. It's traditional to have it as soon as possible, and Ernie, more than anyone else on Earth, knew how busy your job can be. I've enclosed a Shiva candle identical to ours if you'd like to pay your respects, though it's not expected for those outside of the faith to do so." Ernie was a man full of love, not only for his family, but for his family's legacy. He had an immense amount of pride for the work you three did together, as well as how Carl has carried on for him after taking over. So Ernest Roottrees, I'm going to imagine, is the 4th president.
If you want to remember that, put it in your notebook. If you have any guesses, like put a question mark next to it if you're not sure, but just like, there you go.
Ernest, 4th president. Whew. As for myself, it is impossible to express my gratitude enough for rescuing us from the panic and burden of endless bills. Though we caught it too late for him to get on the donor list, the company took care of us beyond our wildest expectations. It went unsaid at that time, but Ernie and I knew it had to have been Carl that convinced the trust, and that it was no coincidence that it happened shortly after your visit, Brenda. Up until the end, Ernie and I had to stay strong, especially for Nicole's sake. We could never have done that without the two of you fighting for us. Much love, Debbie. Hi, Kim.
Hi, Kim. How's the Jackbox going?
I am already running out of steam. A little bit. There's just so much. Kim is drunk. Like I said, I am kind of running out of steam.
Are you wanting to raid someone?
I might want to switch things up and do something else for a little bit.
That's fine. I will say, you have one more notable Roottrees you have not looked to in at all.
Yeah, that's true. Well, by process of elimination, I know which one it is.
That one's probably going to be another easy one to fill in.
It's Lauren Roottrees. Why is Carl Roottrees still not...
Because he's not officially confirmed yet. You don't have him locked in
right.
yet.
Lauren Roottrees.
We will raid Jordy when we're done if she's still streaming.
Author Lauren Roottree, a distant relative of the Roottrees sisters, is known for her book A Life Between Wars. First of all, this is Lauren. And she is an author.
And her kid has had a lot of divorces.
Yep. According to a website about famous authors, in the early 1960s, Lauren released a few romance novels under her married name, Lauren Rafferty, which I should be able to look up Rafferty. Never mind, it's either Chris or Clark, and I definitely don't want to get that wrong.
There's also another option there.
There's 3! Oh my god! I don't want to get that wrong, because that might be incestuous.
It could get real incestuous real fast. When I was watching Alexa put in this, he put in the wrong name at first, and I was like, no! And he's just like, this must be the husband. And I'm like, no! Don't do that! What's a little incest between friends?
When her publisher learned she had been keeping diaries about her famous family, they insisted she release them under her original name, Lauren Roottree, to take advantage of her family's notoriety. The selection of diary entries released in 1965 as A Life Between Wars spans from the untimely death of her husband in World War II to coping with the post-war world as a young widow and mother, as well as her perspectives on changing times, and socialites all the way through the entry into Vietnam. While the content is not considered particularly relevant to modern audiences, it has found new life as an exercise in high school English classes to show an evolution in writing style and for a look into life in previous generations. After the success of her diaries, her publisher re-released her romance novels under the name Lauren Roottree. This included Romance in Court, which gained popularity. She followed the re-release up by writing 2 new sequels, creating what fans referred to as the Court Jester series. You find no recent details about Lauren, though she is listed as retired. Well, what I can do, however, is find out information here.
And information you will get. Remember when I also told you when I was watching Alexa that he saved a certain person for last on the notables list?
Same with me, it looks like.
Someone that will really break this wide open.
A Life Between Wars. Oh my god, that is 7... Oh my god! What's a little incest between friends? I missed that. It seems you've hit the jackpot here. This is a book occasionally taught in schools. You even find a hardcover edition for students that has full-page, high-quality pictures in it. A summary of the contents of the book, photos, as well as some particularly relevant entries from the diary, have been added to your evidence.
Yeah, that 25 is like just Lauren.
Alright. A life between wars.
Wait. Before you put in her picture, is there any spouses you want to put in?
I don't know her spouse's name.
Look at your mouse cursor.
Oh, it's Jacob.
Husband Jacob, right on top of it.
But I don't know... I do know his last name, but I've forgotten it already because I'm an idiot. Jacob Rafferty. Her son, Clark. This is Clark Rafferty.
It's just like, oh yes, we have the actor, we have the musician, we have the president. Oh, and here's someone who wrote a book about the entire family.
Wow, here's somebody who did our entire job for us. The book was published in 1965 and consists of diary entries that stretch from 1940 to 1965. The most important event that much of the diary and Lauren's thoughts revolve around was the loss of her husband Jacob. Jacob died in the final months of World War II while Lauren was pregnant. This left her to raise her son Clark alone. Lauren never remarried and only had one child. By skimming the pages of the diary, you glean the following information. She was the granddaughter of Elias and Gwyneth on her father's side. Her mother's family was called the Cossels, but she hardly ever mentions them. Her father, who she always refers to as Pop, was the head lawyer for the Roottrees Candy Company and helped write a legal document called the Clanced Trust. The only problem is I don't know her dad's name.
Well, you can put in his occupation. You know exactly where he's at on the family tree.
Yes.
So you can put in the information you do know on there.
Her father is a lawyer.
And you do have information about her mother as well. Evidence.
Where was I? Yeah.
You were in evidence and you were looking at the book.
Castle. Sarah Castle.
Hi, Wins.
Hey!
You just got here, so you don't know either. Fair.
It's clear from context that the Roottrees have internal shorthand names for the different generations of their family. Lauren uses them often. The Five Pieces, the first generation of children by Gwyneth and Elias. Lauren's father was in this generation. The next generation, which is Lauren's generation, and the Free Spirits, the generation after Lauren's, including her son.
Wait. Go back to the book. Back to the book. Look at the bottom underneath the book. You have multiple places you can click.
That helps so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
An entry entitled Complaints from Lauren Roottrees' Diary, written in 1953. This entry seems to focus specifically on one of Lauren's family members, Gwyn, who is on the notable Roottrees list. Seems everyone has something to complain about. Gwyn, as an only child, complained of loneliness. I told her that being expected to watch after 3 younger brothers didn't feel like a blessing, but it fell on deaf ears. During the summer where I went to stay with her and Aunt Margot, Marguerite. I hoped she would be the sister I never had and that I'd do the same for her. I even tried to dye my hair blonde to fit in with the 2 of them. What a mess, but she just complained. To her, I was the lucky cousin. Now she's off living the glamorous life while I'm stuck here with Clark. I must admit, seeing her everywhere contributes to my unhappiness. Her visage stares at me even now from my coffee table. She gets to be in Starlet and tell tales of how she gallivants around the world, kissing the likes of Harrison Lane and Wild Bill Williams. She's the first Roottrees woman to be anything other than a housewife, and I am jealous. If I were not a single mother, could I make my own way in this world? But I'm off topic. A girl with all the luck in the world was jealous of me, and now, though I have been undoubtedly burdened by terrible tragedy, I am also lucky to be born into a family that can support me for eternity. I can raise a child without worry, unlike countless other widows. If any of them were to hear me complaining, they would rightfully scoff just like I do at Gwyn.
I will say there's 2 pieces of evidence in this. One that you just found was Aunt Margot. The other one told you her occupation.
It tells me a lot of people's occupations, a lot of women's occupations. Basically, everyone in the generation above them is a housewife. Any of the women in the previous generation, and in their generation, except for them, is a housewife. An entry entitled Dynasty from Lauren Roottrees' diary written in 1958. It focuses on the day her grandfather Elias announced he would step down as president of the Roottrees Candy Company and the meeting to determine his successor. I wish I had been a fly on the wall today. Clancy told me that everyone got quite heated. Granddad was furious none of his sons would take over as president, but that's what he gets for holding on to it so long. With architects, preachers, and lawyers, nobody's got time for candy. So with the 5 pieces refusing to step up, it came down to us next gens. Pop argued at length that the company should stay with our branch of the family since we still have the Roottrees name. I'm not even sure Clancy would have wanted it, but he's the one who was volunteered. Instead, it ended up going to Zach, even though his surname doesn't match the candy. He's the firstborn son of the firstborn 5-piece. I'm not sure how that's relevant to running a company, but Granddad had always had very particular views when it came to his bloodline. The firstborn of a firstborn. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's Zachariah or if it's Zach. That's unfortunate. And because neither of them have matching surnames to
I will
Roottrees
say this. I'm going to say this. You, at this point, you should know the genders of the rest of the 5 pieces.
Sure, I should know the genders of them.
And you should know all of their occupations.
But I don't know which ones are which.
You actually do.
I only know 3 of them for certain. You're right, Celeste. That's probably true. The firstborn son of the firstborn son is the 2nd president. And this is probably Zachariah.
It did not say that. It did not say that.
Yes, it did. The firstborn son of the firstborn 5-piece. Firstborn son of... Well, it wouldn't say son, necessarily. It could be daughter.
Well, what do you think?
I don't know.
Honey, his last name is different. And his mother was born in like the 1920s or yeah, something like that.
Okay. Fine. And he is the 2nd president. I do know, at this point, unknown female, housewife. And her name starts with a G. And the only reason why I know this for certain, which means this is Gwendoline. The only reason why I know that is because of the candy ad. G is for Grape, the eldest child. Because they're listed by age.
Okay, in that same thing, it also mentioned the occupations of his sons.
One of them is an architect, but I don't know which child is the architect.
You have every other occupation logged in on that line.
Do I? Yes, I do.
You do.
Architect. Unknown male. I actually have all of the names of them, except for 2. And I know one of them is EC.
Do you?
Or it might be CE. What?
Look at the ad again.
CE for cinnamon extract.
There's also another ad.
The earlier ad. CE, and the other is EC.
Doesn't this make you, like, really suspicious? I don't know about you, but...
No.
Okay.
Why?
Have you read that envelope yet on the board?
can open this envelope after the whole family tree has been filled in. It has 2 names that must be typed in manually. The clues are obscure, have been intentionally hidden in the past, and may even require some leaps of logic. Try to keep an eye out for any inconsistencies. Like the names being different between these 2. Because this one lists an M, an extra M, and this one lists CE. And the previous one, or EC. That's weird. They're listed in a different order. I'm so confused. How am I supposed to know from here?
Look at the ones that are consistent. I'll give you that.
Well, we have Miracle, who is Miracle Berry.
And I'll also give you another hint. You have a picture currently in your evidence that you should probably take a look at if you're going to try to figure all this out right now.
The 5 pieces. That makes a lot more sense. Lauren's diary contains some labeled pictures. This is the 5 pieces. This picture was famous in our house. Pop even had it framed. That's him on the left.
I will say, you have everything you have read so far, you should be able to place all these pictures correctly.
Well, I know which one Miracle is. And that's another 3. Angie and I both wanted to be in the photo since Miracle was in it, and the 3 of us were all about the same age. We were told only the 5 pieces, which really didn't go over well, to say the least. Eventually, I suppose to stop the tantrums, they posed us in front of the camera with Mr. Morden, who was there with Aunt Gwendolyn. I found out years later that they never even took a second photo.
That's like the definition of just like, oh, the kids want a picture. Let's take a picture of the kids. Click. The kids are happy now.
Eli Jr. So that's the architect. Roottrees Elias Jr. The problem is I don't know which one is which.
Well, like I said, start with the people you do know. But from what you have read so far, you should be able to place everybody.
Well,
you've been given all the hints to place everybody.
I unfortunately don't know the ages of the 2 sisters from...
You have
Based-
read something that tells you about which sister is which.
No.
You can go back to, it was in Lauren's book. There's something that you have read already that should be able to tell you.
Blonde.
There you go.
Because Gwyn is also blonde. And she was jealous of Gwyn's blonde hair. Based on the remaining evidence of the two of them in that picture, how am I supposed to accurately depict
Read the
two
caption.
boys? Wait a second. There's also somebody in the background. Pop, who is the unnamed parent. Unknown male. This is Pop, who is the furthest to the left. Who also had blonde hair. Elias Jr. is this one. And that's another 3 correctly placed.
That's why I'm here. I'm just here to remind you of the things you have.
It's time for your headlines. Once an hour, every hour, on the 45. It's a bizarre development to an already tragic tale. In the wake of the accident that took his life, some of Carl Roottrees' belongings have apparently gone missing. Most notably, a framed photo of the Roottrees from the 1970s that Carl had on his office wall. We interviewed a local psychologist about who would do such a thing and why. For that article, search online for WRTD News. Again, that's WRTD.
Of course, the framed picture that we have. I wonder who this person is in the background, though. Why it's
Who do you
important.
think they are?
I have no idea. How am I supposed to know?
That's fair.
I have a picture, and that's it.
So what do you think? Who do you think the last? Because I think you have everyone's names except for her father's name in right now, right?
Yes, which means...
What do you think his name is?
I don't
or at least-
know.
Given, like, you said the names match up with the candy flavors, right? Or at least, like, what do you think of his initials are, then?
Yes. He's the third eldest. Which means it's CE. Clancy Edward Roottree. There we go. And that is all 5 of the 5 pieces.
Uh-huh. If you want to, you can probably make a note about Zach being the next president.
I've already marked that
Oh, that's
down
right.
because
That's right. You put it in the family tree already. Okay.
Yep. I don't have a picture of him as far as I'm aware.
You do have one more picture in your evidence.
Lauren's diary contains some labeled pictures. This is the next generation. Gotcha. That's everybody. An attempt to recapture the spirit of the 5 pieces photo with our generation. For old time's sake, we gathered on the warehouse floor. I wanted Eli to stand all the way on the left, since to me he looked a lot like Pop did in the old one. But I was outvoted by my brothers. They insisted the 4 of us stand together, and so we clumped up in the middle and let everyone filter in behind and in front of us. The only one too good to make an appearance was Gwen. Grandma insisted we include Sam even if we didn't want to. None of us understood why, including Sam. I also didn't think it fair Miracle made it in, since he's technically a 5-piece. I guess my inner child still holds a grudge even after all these years. So Miracle is in this photo, because he's the next old... Okay. The problem is I don't know which one he is.
You could probably take a good guess based off of that caption. Which one he is. Because it's supposed to be a photo of the next generation, so he should be the only one not in this photo that's part of the next generation.
Right.
And based off of age, who do you think the young child is?
I have no idea. I'm guessing it's Sam? I don't know.
I would also take a look at some of the clothes they're wearing. It might help you.
Well, that's Miracle Jr.
Why would that be Miracle Jr.?
Because we already have a picture of him.
How old would he have been in that picture?
Oh, never mind. That's Miracle the Third. Unless that's a borrowed tie. I just recognized the tie was all.
And what's one thing about Miracle that's different from the rest of his siblings?
Well, he had an eye patch.
True, but what was the one thing that was like mentioned like in those articles that was like the difference about him from the siblings?
Well, he was the youngest.
By how many years?
By a lot.
So there's a good chance that Miracle's going to be the same age as these children here, right?
Yes.
So who would be the very young child?
His son. That's Miracle Jr.
And you also have another picture of Miracle Jr., because apparently they included him and his brother in with the Free Spirits photo. It says so in the caption.
Yeah.
So you actually have all the photos for Miracle and Miracle Jr., if you want to place them.
Well, I only have one photo of Miracle Jr. I don't have the other one.
You do.
Where is the one that... you're talking about?
You were looking at it. Look, read the photo. Everybody's names who is in that photo is written down.
Okay. Now Miracle Jr. is wearing that same rainbow tie. There we go.
Now you can go back to Lauren's diary and look at all the names. But, I mean, also as well, I mean, you can take a look at the name that is on that Free Spirits photo, and you can rule out, you know that those are the names of the Free Spirits in that generation. So you can, like, rule them out from, like, other things. But, again, you can do this.
Like I said, I am running out of steam.
I know.
So fast.
I'm just trying to remind you things you already know. Are you not going to read that whole thing?
I read most of this already. I asked Clancy if it ever came up that a woman could take over. After all, Angie's older than Zach, and I'm next oldest of all, but he just laughed. I'll never forget the cuss words Pop used when he told Ma it wouldn't go to us. Mother, ever the quick-witted, at least with catty remarks, countered back, maybe they wanted it to go to the only member of the family who looks like he samples the product. Gotcha. So that means that Zach is this one.
And I will say you have all the photos of the people in that generation.
Yes. Well, her other picture.
Also, in the caption of the photo, she tells you where she is in that photo.
That's gotta be her. It's the same hairstyle, even. She's near the middle. Her and her other siblings are all together. And she has... Let's see. She has 3 brothers, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
which means it's these 4. So I at least know the youngest brother, what he looks like. Is this him? Or is this him? I don't remember. Shoot.
Are you asking who was the shortest?
Yes.
It's the one in the middle.
Okay. Because he's the youngest.
I will say, she said something about another brother looking like her dad.
Eli to stand all the way on the left. He looked a lot like Pop did in the old one. So this is Eli. The only problem is I don't know if Eli is the eldest or the second or I'm not sure. Would be the next eldest or the third eldest. Because she's the oldest.
I mean, you can put down in your book that he's either the second or the third child. That way you can remember that information, because I feel like that's something easy to forget.
The problem is that I don't know which one is which.
Sure, that's why you put them both in your notebook. So you know that there's options. But you can just write in your notebook as a note that he's either the second or the third child of...
Where?
Right now you have it under Clancy Edward.
I don't know where to put it in my notes.
That's up to you.
One. Highlight.
Oh, you just deleted that one? Do you not want to put that in your notes? You wrote down that Ernest was the 4th president.
Okay. I'm starting to get really frustrated.
Okay, I won't tell you what to do.
No, it's not that. I'm just getting frustrated.
Plus, right, you can take a break. What's getting frustrated? What's frustrating you, I guess I should ask.
There's so much information. I'm getting drowned in information. You're right, this game is great, but oh my god.
That's why I'm trying to help you write everything down. What are you thinking?
I don't know. I'm thinking that I'm so close to being able to check off 3 more.
You also still haven't finished reading Lauren's book.
Because you keep having me do other things.
Sorry.
It is information overload, exactly.
Yeah.
An entry entitled Sam from Lauren Roottree's diary written in 1963. From a previous entry, you learned that Elias Roottree had given in to his wife and announced that Sam, an obscure relative, was to be included in family gatherings. Gwyneth had been pushing to include Sam for quite some time, Lauren writes. Why Sam? I have many distant relatives I've never met. After all, Granny had sisters and Granddad had a brother or two, but I was told, trim the branches from the family tree. So why is Sam special? Nothing adds up, and I'm not the only one to realize. Angie summoned all the next gens to a secret meeting in Zach's office. Gwen's in Paris, but the rest of us, including Miracle's boys, spent ages trying to unravel the mystery. I didn't recognize Sam at Uncle Junior's wedding to Patsy last year. Patsy. Uncle Junior. There we go, Elias Jr. It's gotta be Patricia, one of these two. But I don't know which one.
I can give you a hint. One of those last names you have already seen before.
But I don't remember which one it is.
It's nothing you would have placed down. You don't know where they are, but it would be in your evidence. But of course, you can always do what you did before.
Jones is the one that I've done before. So I assume they're unrelated.
No one is technically unrelated that's going to pop from that list. You will have an opportunity to put someone's name everywhere in this family tree, whether it's a spouse's name.
That's not what I meant!
Okay. Hi, Wesh.
Hey. I am getting very frustrated. Good timing.
I can be quiet.
It's okay. It's not you.
Okay.
When I asked who Sam was, Pop shushed me and said it was complicated. Clancy swore he saw Sam working alongside the farmhands, EC and John, when he used to drive past the old Anderson farm on his way to work. Upon hearing that, Zach checked the records and managed to confirm all 3 are on the books.
Hi, Mooses.
Hi, Mooses. Upon hearing that, Zach checked the records and managed to confirm all 3 are on the books. Eli, Miracle's youngest, not my brother, even chimed in. Apparently, when he was riding his mini bike alongside the farm a few weeks ago, Sam gave him some old tools and taught him how to make the bike's engine faster. None of us think that proper for a multitude of reasons, but Eli certainly seems thrilled. So, Miracle's youngest child is the other Eli. Elias Miracle Roottrees, I would assume.
It's not a bad assumption. I will say, you know his picture.
I do? Miracle's
Look carefully.
youngest.
Look carefully at the pictures that you have, and I think you'll be able to identify him.
Ah! That would make sense. Unfortunately, I have no clue what his occupation is.
Yeah, that one's more hidden. That one's going to be more difficult to find.
But I at least know what he looks like. At the end of the day, nothing explains why an outsider has cozied into family affairs, especially one who works on the farm of all places. Whatever happened to blood is thicker than syrup? Why is Granddad making an exception now? One of the final entries, called Clark, from Lauren Roottrees' diary, written in 1964. Clark's getting married, and, in my opinion, far too young. He's barely 18, for God's sake, and Danielle isn't much older, but openly confronting them would make me a hypocrite. After all, Jacob and I got married at 16. Clark, like the rest of his generation, is a free spirit. What else do you call a group of kids growing up with more money than any one person can spend? They all aspire to be musicians and artists and dancers and all sorts of nonsense. The only one who has any discipline is Carl, but that's because Pop forced Clancy to send him to the academy. Maybe I'm just getting old, but our generation was never so bad. My brothers all seemed to pursue paths of knowledge, and the most rebellious thing any of us ever did was bring home someone who would be illegal to marry if we lived anywhere south of Pennsylvania. Pop seems to have gotten over it because Edward is set to take over his department once he retires. And as for me, my first published book, Swashbuckle My Heart, is based on the pirate stories I used to invent with Jacob when we were walking in the woods after school. I think he'd be proud that Clark and I are carrying on his name. Even my cousins are doing well. Zach's not a bad president after all, and his sister seems to be doing a good job raising her twins. Gwen is Gwen, but at least she came out of the divorce with her head held high. She even told us she might come home next year so we can meet her kids. But the free spirits, in any other family, they'd all end up on the streets, even Clark. Alright. One last piece of evidence here.
That's the story of just far.
Yeah. Oh my god. I'm fairly certain that I am on the cusp of another 3 being solved.
I would say so, yeah. You've been given the brothers' names.
One of them is Elias, and the other is Clark. And the third brother, I don't remember his name. Wait, no. That's the next generation after them.
She's
right?
talking about her brothers there.
Okay.
Too. She mentioned her brother's name in there. One of them.
She mentioned one of her brothers.
Yeah, and then she mentioned another brother's name in the one before that. And then she also gave you a hint to a spouse in that last one as well. She actually gave you 2 hints to a spouse in that one. One of them I wouldn't even say is a hint. She gave you a name.
Well, I see Danielle, but the free spirits are the generation after them.
Some other things is you have a couple other of her book names as well that you can look up in the library.
I am just so done for now, I think. Which sucks because I am on the cusp, like I said, of being able to call this for a bit. Because I have one completed name over here.
Mm-hmm. You have one of the 5 pieces.
I have one of the 5 pieces completed. And there are a couple that I'm close to. I don't remember if I got her son's name. I'm pretty sure I did.
It's right in there. It's in there.
Right, yeah, but I don't have a picture of him.
You technically do.
I do?
I wouldn't even say technically. You do have a picture of him.
Where?
I feel like you're refusing to read a lot of the names.
There's so much information and 50 fucking names!
I know there's 50 fucking names.
Oh my god. Sure, he's gonna be in this picture. There are so many people in this picture.
I wouldn't worry about placing these people too much. I think you should work on the generation before them, Lauren's generation.
That's what I've been trying to do.
Okay, then I will help you, okay?
Okay.
I want you to look whose pictures you have not put in Lauren's generation yet. And tell me their names. No, like look on the family tree, like the billboard. Sorry, not the billboard, the corkboard. If you look in Lauren's generation, there's a couple people you don't know yet.
1, 2, 3, 4 unplaced names and 1 unplaced occupation. I have 4 with completely unmarked information.
There is a name in her generation that you have kind of glossed over that I think you should pay more attention to. She was mentioned a couple of times.
The only person who in her generation that I've seen the name for a handful of times is Gwen.
I'm talking about a name that you haven't even looked up yet, or like acknowledged exists, really.
Oh my god.
Okay.
There are 2 girls here that I have not placed their photos for yet. And I assume it's these 2. But I don't know what their names are.
Well, one of them is listed there.
She isn't. Their names are not listed anywhere.
Okay. I'll gloss over that one, but if you go back to Lauren's diary, she mentioned a cousin a couple of times. I think it was in Dynasty. It was also mentioned in Sam, but it was mentioned in Dynasty. More important information was mentioned in Dynasty.
I don't see another girl's name listed here. Angie. Never mind. Angie. There's a name. The problem is I don't know which one is Angie. That's the wrong photo.
You do know that she is Zach's sister.
I'm going to assume that she's this one.
Okay.
They're in the same row. Although she is no longer a root tree, she's married.
Well, it would have her maiden name on there.
It would have her maiden name on there, but it's not root tree.
That's correct. What's her maiden name?
We don't know. Because I don't have Gwendolyn's spouse's information.
You have other information that tells you her maiden name.
Oh, never mind. Morden.
You can also type in her name.
Morden Angelica.
There's also, I feel like, something else I should point out on the billboard you have here, the cork board. Yes. There is a note that says, "Don't forget." You passed it by. It's in the middle, below the top secret file. It's like yep, it's right there.
Family trees use surnames. Yes, I've seen this. Always use a person's most recent occupation.
Oh, wait, sorry. Also check out the arrow beneath the Roottrees sisters.
Yes. Oldest to youngest. Siblings are in birth order. I knew that.
Okay.
I already knew that.
Okay. Yes, and it's killing me too. It's alright.
Angie's older than Zach, of course. I have it wrong. I have the wrong order. I don't know her profession, but I think she's a housewife.
When in doubt, housewife it out.
I guess, pretty much. President second. There we go. I've corrected the issue, the glaring issue with what I had.
No, it's okay. Tired brain is tired.
Tired brain is grouchy.
Yeah.
Well, I know whom this is a picture of, though.
Okay.
I don't know her name, but I know the picture.
Hey. Do you have 3 completely filled out?
I should, yeah. That should be 3. But something is wrong with one of these 3.
Well, you did make a guess based on one of those.
Housewife being her.
That is true. Housewife was a guess. But you also made another guess with her.
Another guess with her?
Mm-hmm.
Why? Oh, whom she is. That would explain it. Okay.
You locked in the 5 pieces. Establishing roots.
So, you may have heard the news. Some of Carl's things have gone missing. That includes the pictures and mail I brought you earlier. I promise I didn't steal it. But I did borrow it. I'll return it once we're done. Let me deal with my family in the meantime. Oh, I guess that means I've officially confessed. I'm a Roottrees. I assure you I have a reasonable explanation for the secrecy. I'm about to do something big the family doesn't approve of. If you could just wait a little bit longer, I'll tell you more. In person. I'll return after 15 more blood relatives.
After 15 more. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
What
I'm
do you
done
think of
for
the
now.
game so far?
It is good. It is just so much information.
That's why I was trying to encourage you, just any information you get that you might think is important, just to write it down in the notebook. That way you can kind of well organized. There's also an option to put down different tabs so you could like organize that information.
Oh.
There is a lot of information in this game. I know.
What do you think I'm doing? I am done for now.
Oh, Kim is live again.
I'm not even all that tired. I'm just frustrated. Kim is live. Viking and Muffin are live.
Oh, I forgot about Viking and Muffin. That's right. They've been live for an hour now, haven't they?
Yeah.
Do you like the game so far?
Yes, but like I said, it is a lot. I appreciate having you here to help me a lot.
Okay.
Because hints are very appreciated from you. You know a lot about this game. Obviously, you don't know everything. But
Oh, Kim went offline.
Oh. Huh. She was only streaming for like an hour.
Oh wait, she's back online.
Alright. Let's just raid Kim.
We can raid Viking and Muffin too, but yeah, Kim's good. Are Viking and Muffin actually playing the game yet? Nope, it's still on the title screen.
Alright. Thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. Like I said, this is us trying something new for a little bit. Because normally it's co-op night on Saturday, but you know, every once in a while it doesn't hurt to do something else. We are gonna raid our friend Kim, Backfired. She is playing Ocarina of Time right now. And I'm sure she'll treat all of you well. See you over there and have a nice night. Bye.
Bye.